Okay, it looks like we're live. Nice to see all of you here already. As usual, I've gone live a little bit before the scheduled time. We're going to have actually Rafi Faber and Philip Lowe. They're going to be coming on soon. And yes, I'm going to make an announcement as well today. Quite an interesting announcement for the whole channel. I would say for me also in particular. It just goes to show how much of a community the channel is. We're going to wait though until the top of the hour for that. Dutch Libertarian is here. Says, good day, sir. Wish you well. Oh, thank you. Mark Sneed, hello, Mary, Rudy, and fellow fans of Real Monies. Yeah, and there's Rudy. Um, he's having a lie down as usual. Dutch Libertarian. Who else is here? Mark from Billericay, Essex. Whistling Freedom. Good evening, Mary, and all happy campers here. Justin Taylor is here. Rudy is with us. Let me move here. You can see him. There he is. Say hello, Rudy. He is here. Hannah is here. Beefy Farmer. Freezing Whales. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap up tomorrow morning. I'm gonna play golf. 8 o'clock. Um, yeah, it's gonna be cold, but it's nice to get out and play a bit of golf. Steve Dayton is here. Says thanks, Mario from Idaho. How many Rudies have you had? Shih Tzus, the breed, Rudy's our third. The first one was called Billy, and the second one was Billy as well. This one's Rudy. Uh, the second Billy he was the original mascot for the channel, and he used to lie there too. Many of you remember Billy, of course. Lakeland, Florida. I know Lakeland, Florida, near Winter Park and Orlando. Kevin Hawthorne. Endurorama is here. Crimson Cane. Hey, Myra, do you have any coin shop recommendations in Cambridge? No, I don't. I don't know Cambridge, to be honest. Matt Fix 3820. Hello, Mario. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Doing some drywall texturing while listening from Phoenix. DIY, yeah. To be honest, I'm not good at DIY. I'd say my wife is better than I am. I think I'm better off sometimes, paying people to do it for me. It's less costly to do that because it's something I'm not good at. Daniel Fugo, hello from London. Donald Best from Ecuadorian Amazon. All right. Metal Market Minute. People golf all year round here in the Nashville area. Well, here in England as well. It doesn't really snow that much here. Uh, Even though this past week, the the golf courses in my club, they were mostly closed every day, but they reopened today. Virtual Dude from Des Moines, Iowa, or in French is Des Moines, the monks. SQ7944, greetings from Long Island, says, I love Rudy. Can you show him at the end of the video? Ask him about silver. Yeah. Well, when silver was at 36, he was barking when I was asking if silver was going to 50. He was agreeing. And after we went through 50, I asked him about 100, and he was really agreeing. So I think he's going to be right. I'll see if he gets involved tonight. Cedric Vary 932 from Bristol. Pablo Pina. 9824. I haven't seen it in a while, Pablo. Is an old follower. Uh, just wanted to show you guys, we've got a new mug. And this is part of like the community because it was one of the viewers, followers in Florida, Karen, who actually set up the store, merchandise store, and she's been designing some really interesting mugs and t-shirts and hats. This is the Raven of Zurich mug, Felix Sommery, some of you might know. And in the back of the mug, it says, "The state alone is responsible for inflation. Inflation without government or indeed against government is impossible." So yeah, that's a new mug. It's in the merchandise store. There's a link below in the description. And later on, I'll show you some other mugs she designed. She sent them to me. My wife was saying we're gonna run out of room in the kitchen for these mugs, but we found room. Uh, Dom de Diego says hello from France. Bonsoir. Dina El Morsai from Cairo, Egypt. Well, that's great to have people from all over the planet. Low blood pressure. Mario, when gold revalues, will silver do the same instantly? No, I don't think the ratio will go to 300 to 1. I think silver will follow. It might even outperform gold. Spock 2025, get Rudy a job in Las Vegas. Well, I heard Las Vegas is not doing that great. It's like not as active and bustling as it used to be. And Durarama, what's the real impact of the 104K AG 104,000 futures contracts? You mean the open interest? Well, that just means how much positions there are, longs and shorts. If the market is going up, usually when the market goes up, open interest goes up, and vice versa when the market goes down. But I think the open interest hasn't been rising that much, even though the market has gone up. That could be because the shorts are covering, so their short positions are closed, uh, and the market is becoming more and more of a physical market on COMEX. Akbay Nguyen, I hope I pronounced that right, says hello, Mario. Alan Satoshi Greenspan, gather gold, stack silver, be your own bank, be your own bank. Yeah, I agree. And my announcement has a little bit to do with being your own bank, but we're going to wait till the top of the hour. Mr. Money 2511 says, hi, Mario from Richmond, Virginia, capital of the Confederacy. Yeah. I guess I'm going to be called something bad for saying that, but it's history, right? Richmond. I had a good friend once in Switzerland from Richmond, and he was actually English, but his parents lived in Virginia. What happened to the Russian oil tanker? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. Uh, well, I forgot to say the title of the live stream. And of course, we can look at other stuff as well, but it's always good to have a title. It's to do with gold revaluation and also the fact that the US economy is actually slowing down despite everything you hear to the contrary from the Trump administration and a lot of people saying that economy is doing great. And I'm going to try to prove to you that it isn't. It might be, I think it's doing great for the top 1% or so, maybe top 10%, because asset prices, and hopefully for you, it's doing well as well, because we've been in the right place here in gold and silver. Well, for those of you who started following me and maybe got involved for 10 years, right? And it's finally paying off. But unfortunately, for the vast majority of people, it's really tough out there. Trevor, Trevor with 438, do you think the central banks are in denial about the end of fiat currency? I don't think it's yeah, they probably are. They probably are. They probably think they can keep going as like semi-fiat, right? Currency for the domestic consumption and for the general public will be fiat, but currency amongst nations for settling commerce and trade will be hard, right? And that's why they're buying so much physical gold and silver, in my opinion. So still waiting for Phil Lowe and Rafi Faber. Hopefully, they didn't think it was going to be on Sunday because we're doing it the last 2 weeks. We're doing the live stream on Saturday. Let me know. Maybe let me know what you prefer, the live stream on Saturday or Sunday. If you prefer Saturday, uh, type one. If you prefer Sunday, type two on the message board on the yeah, one for Saturday, two for Sunday, so I can have an idea. Yeah, low blood pressure. Yeah, the last two weekends I've done it on a Saturday. I couldn't do it last Sunday. I had some guests at the house, and today I decided to do it. It looks pretty today, Saturday. Looks pretty mixed actually, ones and twos. So I think yeah. Both, yeah. I think we'll see. We could do it on Sunday next week. Who knows? Anyway, well, I'm not gonna wait for them at the moment, so I'm gonna make an announcement here. So last Sunday, actually, I was contacted by one of the viewers actually who loves the channel, and yes, and he's a CEO of a brand new gold royalty company, and the company is Chancery Royalty, and it's still a private company, so Chancery Royalty. He wanted to meet me last week in London. He's London based, and we went for a coffee on Tuesday. Really nice chap. His name's Jeremy. Yeah, and we had a coffee, and he had another colleague of his there. Sorry, I was just checking something. Yeah, his name is Jeremy Gray. He's the CEO, and he wanted me to plug the company for the channel, and it is part of the community because he loves the channel, and he wanted to let you guys know about the opportunity. And the announcement, though, is not that Chancery Royalty is going to go public very soon. It's that he offered me, and I was really surprised. He offered me to join the board of the company as a director, outside board member, and I was shocked and I accepted. And are they hiring you? I guess they are, but it's not full time, so nothing's going to change on the channel, of course. But and one of the reasons why is that yeah, he loves the channel, and I actually like the way this company is developing. Um, I'll show you here. There's an investor landing page. There's a link in the description if you want to have a look. I mean, you could get involved and invest in the company pre-IPO. There isn't much time left. They're doing very well raising capital. So here's the company. And they've got they've got royalty companies. They invest like in mining companies. They fund mining companies, and for a certain amount of years, sometimes until the end of mining, and they get a percentage of the gold every year. So they actually get the gold. They don't get that. That's what happens with royalty companies. There's Phil. Hi, Phil.
Hey, where's Rafi?
I don't know. He hasn't arrived yet. Uh,
Oh, okay. I
I'm just
apologize.
making, if you don't mind, I'm just making an announcement here, Phil, because I was asked to join the board of a gold royalty company that is still private, and it's called Chancery Royalty. Here you go. And yeah, they're going to have their IPO very soon. So I was talking a little bit about that, and they have properties in Brazil, a couple of properties in Brazil. One of them is not part of the royalty deal yet, but it will probably go into the royalty. And one of them is in Arizona, actually. It's already producing gold, and they want to be as big as Elemental Royalty. And Jeremy did a video with a YouTuber like a few weeks ago, and he said they were trying actually to get royalty companies to fund their mines, and no one wanted to do it. So he decided to create the royalty company, and he's done it really quickly. So yeah, that's what happened, and I'd like to thank Jeremy and also all of you guys because it's a community. We wouldn't be here, of course, if you guys didn't participate. And thank you, Jeremy, as well. And I'm going to put a link if you're still interested. But I think it's pretty soon this will be over because they're going to go for the IPO. If you're interested in looking at the company, there's a link below in the description. So, sorry about that, Phil.
No
How are you
problem.
doing?
I confess I am ignorant as to what royalty companies do. Would you
Yeah,
elucidate?
I'll try to. I mean, I'm trying to learn as quickly as possible. I've known about royalty companies. Basically, let's say there's a mine that's owned by a mining company. You, as an investor, you go there and say, I want to get receive 2% of your gold production for 5 years, and they'll tell you, well, you got to pay us this much. That's how they fund each other. And the advantage of a royalty company is you don't have you get the gold, but you don't have to worry about running the day-to-day affairs of the mine. That stays with the mining company, and you don't have to employ many people. And the other thing is, if the cost of mining goes up, it doesn't really matter for you because you always get the ounce of gold. So if you get an inflationary period and the cost of mining goes up, the usually the gold royalty companies should do outperform the normal miners. So that's what it is. I think it was mainly developed in Canada, but it's become very popular. The biggest gold royalty company is Franco-Nevada.
Now, why do miners like this? Do they get some capital up front?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and a lot of times, if they have an emergency, it's a good way to get quick infusion of capital, I would say. So. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe Rafi got confused. Maybe he thinks it's going to be on Sunday.
Okay.
He
I'll,
didn't.
I'll message him, make sure he knows.
Yeah, because usually I do this on Sunday. But anyway,
We can start without him if you like.
yeah. So yeah, the title of the live stream is Gold Revaluation. Is now a matter of it's not a matter of if, but when. And I think it will happen. And one of the reasons is because I think the US economy, contrary to popular opinion, is decelerating. And I'm going to show a chart here that proves that. It's the chart of non-farm payroll. I'm going to share it with you guys and see what you think, Phil. I know that here, this was post-COVID, and I guess all the people that were furloughed, they came back, right? But you can see that since the beginning, let's say, of even 2025, it's really coming off, and we're starting to see negative non-farm. So I actually think there's a problem in the economy. And the other thing, Phil, uh, is that why would President Trump try to force credit card companies to charge no more than 10%? Why would he be talking about sending $2,000 checks? Why would he be asking Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac to buy 200 billion in mortgage-backed securities to lower rates? So do you agree with me on that? And then we can talk about gold revaluation. I'll come up with a few numbers.
Sure. So something is definitely bubbling under the surface, and it's much worse than even the payroll numbers suggest. Because when you view this from the Austrian school perspective, what you understand is that not only, jobs are not just interchangeable things, right? So in the 1950s, a grown working man might be working in a factory or working on a farm or working, for a company and growing. And now what are they doing? Now they're, a greeter at Walmart or something, right? So, or working in a service sector, they're not doing what they would be doing in a manufacturing powerhouse on an honest gold standard. So, the fact that the payroll, even if the payroll said there were tons of jobs and everyone's working, that doesn't mean that everyone's doing the job they're supposed to be doing, the job that provides them and their families the most income and gives them the most satisfaction of a job well done at the end of the day, right? No one, well, maybe somebody, but I don't think people who are working mid-level at Best Buy, go home after a day. Boy, I just love working at Best Buy. It's my favorite thing in the world, right? Not that working a factory job is always sunshine and rainbows either, but I think if you're making something, you probably feel a bigger sense of accomplishment than if you're just selling something on margin and debt to people paying with a credit card that was manufactured in China by somebody else, right? So I think being closer to the thing that is being made will give people a much bigger sense of personal belonging and feeling like they're a productive member of society. I mean, if you the way people feel, this is a generalized sense, everyone is feeling like I'm not doing productive work. I mean, that's a common thing that is pervading, American society. The common complaint is we don't build things anymore, right? So I'm sorry, I'm going off a little bit on a tangent, but like the payroll numbers themselves, I reject them because they don't. What is with all other Keynesian things, right? These numbers just mean like somebody's working a job somewhere. It doesn't mean that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and that the resources have been properly allocated.
I agree. I agree. And but I think it just and they revise them so much. But
Yes.
it is
Now
showing that
yeah.
there is weakness in the
The
economy,
fact,
I
yeah,
think.
the fact that their jury rig numbers are this bad means it's like the real stuff is just that because this is putting lipstick on the pig, right? They
Yeah.
put all the lipstick on the pig they possibly could, and they presented it to us. We're still like, oh,
Yeah.
that looks terrible.
And I think one of the reasons why the Trump administration is trying to do so much to yeah, to prop up things is because the bottom like 70-80% of Americans, they're really feeling the pinch because you had this huge infusion of uh, money supply from COVID, and uh, and they call that, oh, it's the cost of living has gone up. Inflation is like going down now, so there is no inflation. But if you wanted to go back to lower the cost of living pre-COVID, you'd have to raise rates like massively and get the money supply to crash back down to the trend, and they'll never do that. And it's the reason I've got this mug here, the new one that says, the state alone is responsible for inflation. Inflation without government or indeed against government is immoral, right? So, and it's not Putin or anything else or oil prices that are raising inflation. But Phil, the other thing that I think they're kind of desperate is for the midterms because the Fed chairman, Powell, he's only leaving in May, and that doesn't leave him much time to aggressively cut rates with a new Fed chairman or start massive QE. I know they're doing QE now. So I think the gold revaluation and the Fed talked about gold revaluation last year. I don't know if you remember
Yes.
in August. Gold revaluation would be like the last resort, and it's akin to, let's say, you or I or some of the viewers having an emergency, and we the gold that we bought, let's say, at $2,000 some years ago, we sell some of it at 4,500. And we pay off some debt, and it helps us tidy things over. And I think it would make sense because the last time it was revalued was in 1973, and the statutory price is still $42.22. So if they revalued, for example, to 4,222, I've done some calculations. They would get like the Treasury would get $1 trillion without having to get into debt, and they could do whatever they want with that. I calculated that if they revalued to 4,222, every American, and I put 350 million, I don't know exactly how many there are, but every American would get just under $3,000 from that revaluation. And if they revalued to 5,000, every American would get $3,714. So
Those dollars would be worthless if they revalued at those levels. I mean, what is
yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
know. Rafi's talked about that, hasn't
yeah.
he?
Yeah, I mean that would be that would be the end game. That would be the end
Can
of
you
it.
tell the viewers why?
Sure,
Because they
absolutely.
might think, oh, if you revalued to 4,200, that's not enough. But eh, uh, uh, tell them what happened in the
Absolutely.
70s as well.
When you go to a restaurant, let's say you have a coupon for your favorite restaurant, and it's the coupon says one free burger at your favorite restaurant, right? When you go there and you get your free burger, that coupon represented that burger. That was an accurate representation of that burger, right? Now, let's say you go to the restaurant and they say, "Oh, we accidentally issued too many of these coupons, and we're losing money on these coupons. So we're gonna revalue them at 10 to 1. So now you have to show up with 10 of these one free burger coupons to get one burger, right? Nothing happened except the a revaluation is a devaluation. Those coupons are worth 1/10 of what they were. So if you revalue from 42 to what is it now, 4,500, that's going to be 60, 70 times. Let's see. I'll do a quick calculation right now.
Yeah, let's see.
Get out the calculator. Yeah. So 42. Well, actually, we'll divide
Yeah,
4,500 divided by
106 times.
100, yeah, 106, 107 times. Okay. So that means every dollar that you hold just got divided by 106 in terms of what we'll buy. Because the dollar, people don't understand. I mean, I'm sure your viewers do. Many of your viewers do. The dollar is a note for gold. It's nothing else except a note for gold. So when you divide it by 106, you're going to be dividing the purchasing power of your dollar by 106. That's why they won't do it. I mean, Scott Bessent came in and, oh, we're talking big talk. We're going to revalue the dollar, all that. Go ahead. I
The-
double dog dare you,
I
Scott
mean,
Bessent.
they might not have been listening to us, and they could do it. And people might ask, well, if they revalue to 4,500, let's say, or 4,200, that's not enough. But in the 1970s, they revalued it twice. The first time from 35 to 38 in 1972, and then they had to do it again the next year, 73 to 42.22. But that acted as a floor for the gold price, and gold has never gone back below 42.22. And if anything, when they revalued it to 42.22, and you can check that on long-term charts. The gold was trading already at 80, and it went on to go to almost 900 in a few years.
If you were to accurately, I mean, what they need to do is accurately revalue dollar to the gold. So assuming the 8,300 tons is actually that the Federal Reserve says they have, assuming it's actually there and they can tie it, they can accurately one to one, match it to it. It's going to be something. I did the math 3, 4 years ago. It was like $65,000 an ounce. So that would mean that's way more than 4,000. That's another huge jump over. So we're really screwed. The dollar is going to reveal to be completely worthless or almost completely worthless as a unit, and they're going to have to revalue to 60, 70, 80, $90,000 and chop off three zeros to get it. That's even assuming the gold is there. If the gold is not there, it's a whole nother world of hurt on top of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up another chart here, and this one's from the Fred
Sure. By the
St.
way, they will
Louis.
not do Scott. I know they were talking about revaluing. They will not do it until things look like Iran, basically.
Yeah, things are not
Until there's
great
protests in
over
the
there.
street and mob
Yeah,
violence in the
I heard
street.
there's government buildings on fire. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if
By
it's
the way, I want to talk the techno dystopia crowd. They're going to crash the system and then introduce the CBDC, right? Okay, why is Iran not introduced? This is the perfect time for Iran to introduce the CBDC, right?
well,
Their
maybe
system's
yeah,
collapsing, but the
maybe
people aren't going
because
to have it. The people are not interested.
they're not in it they're not with the program. Maybe the Iranian leaders. I don't know, but the
Look, the
reason
Iranian leaders don't want to introduce a CB. They would absolutely if they
they
could.
probably
The point
would.
is,
Yeah,
the
you're
people,
right. Yeah.
yeah, the people are not interested in it, and
Yeah.
they're not going to be interested in it, and they're not going to be interested in it here
Yeah.
either.
Oh, here's M1. So that's like notes and coins, right, in circulation.
Yes.
Right now it's 19 trillion, but what I was trying to say earlier about the cost of living, you see, before COVID it was 4 trillion, and now, despite the fact that actually this was deflation here, and most people don't realize it because that's the shrinking of the money supply. But we're still way above, if we go with the trend, we should be maybe down here.
Hmm.
So that's what I was trying to say because in the last FOMC meeting, Jay Powell said, "Yeah, we don't have inflation's come off a lot. It's not a problem anymore. What we have is affordability or cost of living crisis, and it's because of this." And until Rafi's here. Until you get this back below to the trend, yeah, you're going to have a cost of living crisis.
And they're not going to get back below the trend. So, which is why that's why President Trump is just throwing dollars at people now. I mean,
Yeah,
this is the same. They do this every single country that experiences high inflation that moves into a hyperinflation. All they do is throw their currency at the people. They just
yeah.
here, have more currency, take more currency. It's all they can do. There's nothing else they can do.
Hi,
Hey, Rafi, how you
Rafi.
doing?
Hi, sorry I'm late. I got confused by the time change. But yeah.
Oh, okay. You had a time change in Israel?
No, I'm saying Saturday instead
Oh,
of Sunday. Like I'm
oh
usually
Which
in
is
yeah,
wrong.
no,
set
yeah.
my
Yeah.
Sorry
brain
about
is in
that.
Saturday
I
night
thought
mode. Yeah, and
I
then
thought I thought you might have, yeah, because of that. Chris Conman, thank you for the super chat. He says, "What events do you think will most likely happen that causes the next financial crisis where the Fed brings out the bazooka?" I'll let Rafi answer that because he hasn't said anything yet.
what do I think is going to be the proximate cause of the next bailout?
Yeah,
I don't know. Um, I mean, I thought it was going to be the repo market, but it seems that they plugged that hole. With the restart of QE before there was any kind of clog there or serious clog. Then I would think maybe it's going to be a TBTF bank somewhere that maybe it's like Bank of America has like all these unbooked losses on unrealized losses on bonds. Maybe one of them is going to fall, or it could be something that none of us had ever even thought of. I mean, since everything's connected anyway, it could be anything, and then everything will fall. So I really don't know.
yeah.
I have a
I'm
thought
gonna.
that,
Oh, sorry. Go
but
ahead.
I was just gonna say the fact they're if they stop BlackRock from buying the houses, there actually might cause a housing crunch. because all the boomers are going to find out their houses aren't worth what they thought they were going to be if BlackRock isn't able to buy it on margin and rent it out.
Unforeseen consequences.
Yes,
Politicians,
yes,
they
yes.
never think about things. And talking about that, I mean, it could be you guys heard that Trump wants to limit credit card interest rates to 10%. Did you
Yeah.
Yeah,
hear
price controls always work.
that? Yeah, right.
I mean that will if you
But
don't allow if you don't allow the debt to grow at an exponential rate, you'll go into a deflation. So yes,
yeah,
he's
and
absolutely.
the other thing though, is that there's I think 1.3 trillion in credit card debt, and Capital One Bank, JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Bank of America, they are the major credit card providers and debt providers for credit cards. And number two, JP Morgan, apparently they just acquired Apple Card, a loan portfolio from Goldman Sachs. So it would be interesting that this could trigger quite could trigger a bank crisis. And here's the administration trying to make it easier for Americans to borrow. But like Rafi said, Rafi, could you explain to the viewers why price controls don't work?
Oh, well, I mean, there is a market clearing price. If you don't allow the market to clear, the market won't clear, and then there will be if you force interest rates lower than they would otherwise be, you get higher prices, right? That's what would happen. Phil, what would happen if they push interest rates below the market clearing level?
If you push interest rates below market clearing level, do the banks not want to lend? No, or do the people
Yeah,
not want to keep borrowing?
you'd get more demand for
Yeah, you'd have more
credit
borrower. Yeah, you'd
than
have people wanting
Yeah.
to
supply,
loan.
Well,
right?
and I think the
Sorry,
banks wouldn't lend as much because you wouldn't
Yeah,
make
they'd stop
much
lending.
money.
Yeah, yeah.
And
that's
so
that's
Because
people
lending
would
it below the market rate wouldn't be worth it for them, so they
yeah,
just close up shop, right?
people would be worse off. Someone is asking if Rudy there is that named after Rudolf von Havenstein, who was the head of the Reichsbank during the hyperinflation. No, he's not. When we bought him as a puppy, he was born on December 1st, and the breeder he has pedigree from the Kennel Club, and they gave him the name Ken's Duo Rudolph, and they Rudolph because it's the first of December, so he's got nothing to do with the man who triggered hyperinflation in Germany.
Scott Bessent will have that same honor
Yeah,
soon enough.
Rafi, the title of the live stream is I think they're gonna try to revalue gold because they're desperate to send money to Americans, and that would be a way to do it. But Phil has already talked about what you talked about, that if they revalue it even to like 4,200, it would totally annihilate the dollar. Do you think uh, they're naive enough to do that?
You're talking to me? So,
Yeah.
they might try because they don't believe us when we say it would destroy everything. They'll try anything if they're desperate enough. I mean, they could. I don't think that's going to be the next move at this point.
Yeah, I think they know in some deep down level they're revaluing is because they would have done it. Like if they really thought they always talk about oh it's going to free up all these assets and not cause any trouble at all. If they really thought that they would have done it at like $200, $300, $400. They could have done it along the way and they don't. So I think they know at some level. Scott Bessent has this reputation, or at least, he's like, oh, I'm a gold bug or whatever. But even that is like scummy because he was charging, probably 1.8% compound interest to invest in his mutual fund. And then he just went about and bought some gold and sat on it. I mean, you could do that, right? You can buy gold and sit on it. You don't need to go through Scott Bessent where he's going to take, 1.8% annually compounded to invest in gold for you. So I
Funny.
don't think he knows. I mean, if he
Funny.
does know, he's either really dumb or really wicked. Just like who was the woman before him? What's her name? She was
Oh,
famously
Janet Yellen.
glassy. Janet Yellen. Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
was also head of the Fed, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was like famously glassy-eyed, and no one could
yeah,
tell, is this an act? Is this like
yeah.
she's
Yeah.
Janet
genius?
Yellen said that unwinding the balance sheet would be like watching paint dry.
Yes.
You had the repo crisis in 2019. Um,
Paint dry if the house is on fire.
yeah. Oh, I thought this was interesting, this post on X from Peter Spina. He says during we're moving to a bit to silver now, if you guys don't mind. I'm sure you
Sure.
don't. During just the first 5 days, business days of 2026, 11 plus million ounces of silver have been shipped out of COMEX. Wholesale silver demand has been on fire for a very long time. And now Western retail buyers are joining the global rush into physical silver. But I saw as well that the COMEX still has like a 123 million registered silver. Is that true? Apparently, a lot of this silver is still in the vaults at COMEX. Maybe Rafi, you know a little bit about that, don't you? You try to during the first silver squeeze, you try to buy a futures contract and get the 5,000 ounce bar.
Yeah, yeah, I did, and I failed.
Yeah,
But I did find out some things. I'm checking what the COMEX silver supply is. I know it's still pretty high
yeah,
historically. I think it's been coming down from the all-time high, but it's still very high. I'm gonna be there in a second.
yeah,
I mean, unless they have enough silver for
Warehouse.com.
everybody, it's not high enough. So it's going
yeah,
to run out at some point, and probably exponentially
Yes.
fast. I mean, when a panic really gets going and a bank, the equivalent of a bank run really starts, they're running out of silver real fast.
Yeah,
yeah, because there's so
it's at
many
439 million ounces. So
That's eligible or
eligible and
that's
registered.
combined.
Yeah,
So the total is 439 million. The registered is 123 million,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
and eligible is 316 million. It's still pretty high.
Yeah, yeah,
The shortage right now is still in London, and the New York premium over London, the London premium over New York futures still exists.
yeah,
And some people call that backwardation. It's not really backwardation, but it's like a prelude to it.
yeah. I
one
noticed.
thing oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I noticed on SD Bullion, like the Silver Eagle 1 ounce is going for like I don't know, like 90
89.
$89. And here in the UK, the price that 1 ounce of silver is just about 60 pounds. And we even without the VAT, the price is like 83. I mean, it's crazy. And there's a pawn shop where I live. I actually went there today just to have a look, and they have had silver for the last year and a half on the in the window, but no more silver. They've got gold, but yeah, I can't get any silver coins from them. And the reason I go sometimes there is because they had some good value. Sometimes you can find things that they misprice. And actually, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell the viewers as well. I found this coin here there today. It's a quarter of an ounce Britannia gold, and it was less than what the dealers are charging, the main dealers are charging. So I bought it because, and then I told the guy after I paid, I said, "Did you know you're charging less than the ounce of gold equivalent?" He said, "Oh, I didn't know that." He said, "It is a really good value. Thank you."
Mhm.
But yeah, so sometimes it's good to shop around. You can find some good deals. Uh,
So,
yeah.
I saw, do you know Brian Kuzmar? I became friends with him over my last vacation in Florida. He has a shop in it's called Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. He's just like he's always talking. He's like he talks a lot. He likes to talk, and he had this video on X of this numismatic showroom convention center where he's got a table, and he's saying that this market is fundamentally different from the 1980 market. He's been a dealer since the 1970s, so he's been through all those markets. And he's saying he's never seen anything like this. Like the prices are going up, but in 1970 and 1980, demand to sell went way up because everyone like wanted to take advantage of the prices. But now he's seeing sellers, but he's also seeing more buyers. Right? It's going both ways this time.
Yeah, and I don't know because I think this time It's confidence. I mean, it was kind of I think 2011 was more of like a mania, maybe a bull market, it's always fear with gold and silver. But this time there's so much debt that, you know, the only asset in precious metals that I might think of selling and taking some profit and putting it right back into gold and silver, though, after taking it through the fiat route, would be the miners. But why would I want to sell my physical gold and silver to get fiat currency when I know that fiat currency is like got no future? Is that the way you guys feel as well?
Yeah, I mean, only people in distress. I mean, there are people that have
Yeah,
significant debt stress, and they need to satisfy their debt obligations. But yeah, except for that, absolutely not.
Rafi, I guess that's the same way you feel, right?
Yeah, I don't plan to sell for fiat. I plan to sell for stuff, meaning I plan to buy things with money.
Yeah, yeah. But
I just
sometimes
did
you
one thing I forgot.
you might still need to go through the fiat just as a bridge.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. At the end, no, unless they successfully revalue it, which would mean that there is gold in Fort Knox to revalue. One thing I just did a video on the gold silver ratio, and one thing I forgot to mention was that in the end game, the gold silver ratio is going to splinter into 1,000 places. So because there's not going to be a single gold silver ratio. India is going to have its own gold silver ratio. Chicago is going to have its own gold silver ratio. Louisiana is going to have its
Yeah.
own because there's not going to be a lot of
Well, and right
interconnection
now,
between the
sorry,
areas.
Phil, right now there's
Uh,
a silver price in Shanghai, one in New York and London.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I expect, especially because everyone who just, when you have the silver locally, that's the silver that's going to be around locally. Because unlike a gold note, where if I wanted to right now, I could send you dollars right now, Mario. I could take out my phone, Venmo you dollars, and they'll convert it into pounds, right? With physical silver, I can't do that. I have to put it on a plane and fly it over to you. So that means there's going to be a lot. Some places, like I said, India might turn out to have more money than like any other country on earth just because it's in the culture
Actually,
to have it and has a little bit.
actually, with silver, you can't send it to me. The Glint Pay app.
Hmm.
You can buy silver on that app. You can't spend it, but you can technically send the silver, well, allocated silver that they hold in a vault to someone who has also an account with Glint. Of course, it's not physical.
Right. Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to redeem it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But assuming, I mean, in a in-game situation where the credit collapses, at least temporarily, and people have to trade on money, there's not going to be a single gold silver ratio. It's all going to be local, and it's going to depend on how many people stacked and prepped and how many people didn't. So, in North Dakota, if everyone's stacking and everyone's prepping and everyone has 6-month food supply in their pantry and a bit of silver, then yeah, you're probably not going to see houses for 100 ounces of silver. But in Manhattan, you probably are because
Yeah.
nobody's listening to us.
There's a chart here that Luke Groman posted today on X. And he says the what do you want choice facing the US in the single chart. The way we devalue US debt to GDP is running gold up to big number, having Secretary Bessent revalue US official gold to that big number, then use the resultant big Treasury gold account deposit to buy debt to GDP down to sustainable level. And he says U.S. workers get smallest slice of economic pie on record. So yeah, that's the problem with the U.S. economy. When you have like an inflationary environment, it becomes more like a third world country. And I mean, where I grew up in Brazil, it's still like this. We've had inflation a lot longer than the US, and the wealth inequality is huge. It's even worse than in the US.
You'd think people would learn to just like in Brazil. How come people didn't learn to just stack silver? Like
Well,
you'd think we
because
would learn this lesson.
I'll tell you why, because the dollar is still probably like
Right,
the
because the dollar is
equivalent
still in
of gold and
charge.
silver in Brazil. Yeah, no one ever
Oh, so
thought
people would
about.
hoard dollars, and during the Brazil hyperinflation, people kept
Oh yeah,
dollars in their in
yeah.
their under their mattress. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
I don't know now because I haven't lived in Brazil or been there for a while. but that might be changing. I do have some followers from Brazil. So, and talking about Brazil, Rafia, you weren't here, but I announced that I've been offered a seat on the board of a gold royalty company.
Ah,
Yeah, and they're still private. They're going to have an IPO soon, but two of their properties, or one of their properties and the prospective one, they're in Brazil, and they're really good mines, and they were able to get them for a really good price because 2, 3 years ago, when the price of gold was at below 2000 or stuck around 2000, things weren't going that well. So I might be going to Brazil to see one of those mines, which would be really nice.
wow. Okay, cool. We're moving up in the world.
Yeah,
It's about time.
Yeah,
but
don't forget us. Don't forget us when you're famous.
yeah, no. Anyway, uh, what else is there? I've got some. Oh yeah, I've got here a chart of commodities. Let's see. The Bloomberg Commodity Index. How do you guys, what do you guys think of commodities? Because you got platinum, palladium, copper, and a lot of the base metals going up. Do you think that's a harbinger for more inflation? And I think, that's what Trump's trying to do. He's trying to inflate.
The boom bust cycle, the boom is a creation of false wealth on top of the real physical world. And the bust is the realization that the boom was a fiction, doesn't exist. And so the bust is a race into real resources. That is everyone just starts grasping at the real things they absolutely can. They start with gold, then they do move to silver, then they'll move to copper, and then they'll move to just any, socks, warehouses full of socks. They'll run and try and pilfer those or grab all they can, whatever the physical world is. The world in a bust after a boom, it's a rush into physical things. And so, yeah, I would absolutely expect commodities to go ballistic.
Yeah, this is the Bloomberg Commodity Index, and it looks like it's starting to take off slowly. Still a lot of room on the upside. Rafi, what's your take on that?
Yeah, so commodities going up it's one of the final stages of hyperinflation. Um, when but commodities only go up in dollar terms or in fiat terms. They actually go down in gold and silver terms. The hyperinflation is the hyperinflation. It's the same thing. It depends how you're counting, right? So a hyperinflation in dollar terms is a hyperdeflation in gold terms, which is why all the purchasing power heads in gold. So even if we see, which we are seeing, even if we see base metals go up in dollar terms, they will continue to go down in gold and silver terms until we hit a bottom wherever that is, and then when other commodities are intensely cheap, or what's a good word for that? Incredibly cheap in gold and silver terms, then the hyperinflation will be over, and then we'll just move to gold and silver.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed like if you go back 20 years and you take the price of something and you divide it by the gold price back then, you needed so many more ounces than you do now. Uh, and it's getting even more like pronounced. I mean, I did a few months ago because I think it was Incrementum AG. They looked at the Porsche gold ratio, and I looked at it in pounds, and like in 2002, you needed 330 ounces for a Porsche 911. Now you only need 30. And pretty soon, I think you're going to need a lot less. But do
Yeah.
you really want to drive around in a Porsche when everyone's like struggling? That's the only problem.
No,
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
it's going to be so cheap because nobody wants to drive it.
Yeah.
You can tell people, no, I swear it's really cheap. And
Yeah.
they'll, "Oh, well, you show, so I won't loot it
Yeah.
then. Okay.
Oh yeah, that low blood pressure is asking. Mario, I remember the story about your relative buying property just before hyperinflation. Yeah, I can tell that story. Yeah, it was back in Brazil. I think it was late 80s. It was one of the I mean, they were like chopping zeros off the currency back then, 2 or 3 times every 2 years. And then one day they did like a reset, chopped all these zeros off, And if you had left your cash in the bank, it would have been pretty worthless. Uh, and I have an uncle. He's still alive. I think he's 92. Uh, and he's a doctor, and he was buying like a house for his practice, and he bought the place and he exchanged contracts and paid the money the day before they did that. So what I was trying to tell people is that my uncle did really well, luckily because he got something real, but the guy who sold the house, he got left holding the bag. That's what happens in a can happen in a hyperinflation.
Yeah, so let me
What's,
just add quickly that what sorry, Phil, go. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I mean, I think Rafi agrees with me. Our sole goal is to minimize the amount of people holding the bag by maximizing the number of silver stackers.
Yeah,
But, if people don't want to listen, I don't know what to tell you. Like there's a lot
yeah,
of people who just don't get it.
because that guy who sold the house to my uncle, yeah, he lost out on the fiat part, but if he had maybe dollars or gold, he would have still been okay. So yeah, you can't really hedge against such eventuality, but you can kind of have some insurance on the side, right?
Yeah.
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 So what I was gonna say was that just as in other countries, one day the currency works, the next day it's revalued against the dollar or whatever else they revalue it against, usually the dollar. It's gonna be the same. I think it's gonna be the same thing in the States, except I don't think it's gonna be a statutory revaluation. It's possible. It's just gonna be a market revaluation. And then like one day we're just going to wake up to gold being like 30, 40, $50,000, whatever it's going to be. I don't know how much money they're going to print between now and the end, but whatever it's going to be sudden and it'll have the same effects. Like people with dollars, it will be as if you're in a third world country and your currency was just revalued against the dollar and all of a sudden you have nothing unless you have something real. And the realist the most liquid, it's not like gold and silver are the most real. They're real like anything else physical. They're just the most liquid real thing. That's it.
Yeah. I just wanted to show the viewers Phil's website, uh, well, Phil's channel, because we know Rafi, Endgame Investor on YouTube. Uh, it's that there is on Rumble or on YouTube as well, Phil.
I am on YouTube as well, but I would prefer people watch me on Rumble.
Yeah. So here you go, the bitter draft on Rumble. Just thought I'd let them
Well, thank
know.
you. Thank you,
You're
Brian.
welcome. Uh, let's see, look at some of the questions here. Uh, Ray Hill K80. Oh, here's a super chat. Thank you, Peter Mitchell. What happens to gold and silver if the U.S. government values gold to say 10,000? Announce that this does the spot price go up to match it as well?
Yeah, the
It
spot
will
price
go
would go
way
up to
above it.
way, way, way above it. Yeah.
Yeah, it will never go back below
That's why I
10,000.
would trigger the end game. That they
Yeah,
won't do it. They're not going to do it
yeah,
until they have to.
yeah,
That's the end game. It would be the end game the day after they revalue.
yeah. Even if they raise it to 5,000 and we're around 5,000, let's say,
Yeah.
it would automatically go spike to 10 or 12 because
But yeah,
yeah, the five gold would never go back below five.
I mean, we're talking about the same exact mechanism that causes hyperinflation in these third world countries. Instead, just substitute the word gold for the word dollar, and then substitute some other instead of dollar, say bolivar or
Oh yeah, just
whatever.
devalue the currency. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the
That's
same
right.
step. It's just we're talking a step above it instead of a step below. But
Yeah,
it's the same mechanism.
yeah, yeah. I mean, either way, even if they don't revalue gold, I'm still very bullish gold because I'm very bearish the fiat currencies because there's no other way to keep the system going than to inflate. Is that what you guys think too, I guess?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Short answer.
Does he
Uh,
either you inflate either inflate no
or
you
Or
have to
let
die.
all the
inflate
banks
if you
fail.
have to inflate the only thing that can save it is a sudden surge of productivity which no AI is not going to bring us.
No, because AI needs so many natural resources as well.
Also because it makes us stupider and less productive.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Rafi, what if what if the Bitcoin guys are able to mine gold from asteroids and bring in trillions of tons?
Oh yeah, I hear that's going to happen tomorrow. We're going on
Yeah.
the first mission, and it should be it should be really simple, funded really easily, and I expect it all to be mined tomorrow and here the next day.
There's trillions of tons under Venezuela now too, apparently. So actually, I have a theory. The reason Trump is the system. Trump is just following this. He was elected as a reformer, and I think he had a brief window where he could have revalued. He could have said, "Okay, we printed too many notes. We need to revalue and cut off zeros." And I think people would have gone along with that. But he has to be the candy man. He just cannot help himself. And he promised, he didn't promise a austerity and revaluation of gold and going back to the gold standard. He promised unending prosperity and a new golden age of fiat. So he's taking us down that road. To Rafi's point, energy is the one thing. If you could get the energy prices way down, you can boost productivity. People can just make more stuff because energy prices are way down. So I think the system as a whole is trying to get its hands on more energy, and that's why they're invading Venezuela. That's why we're taking
Yeah,
over Greenland. I think
but
that I think that is
still,
inherently where this is coming from.
I saw they had a meeting at the White House with the oil industry, and
Yeah.
basically they said unless you back us, but taxpayer backs us, we're not going to go there. So I don't think that's
You
going to
don't want to go to
happen.
Greenland? It sounds like
No,
fun. We
not
could.
Greenland,
Uh,
Venezuela.
oh,
Venezuela.
Venezuela, no, but like
Yeah,
Greenland, who knows what they're gonna find there when they start drilling? You could find like woolly mammoth bodies all over the
yeah,
place, or who knows what other kind of extinct animals.
yeah. I wanted to show you guys something here about. Well, it's to
Sure.
do with Greenland uh, because.
By the way, I don't think this is a conscious decision. I don't think Trump is sitting there thinking like, "Oh, if I don't increase energy output by exponential rates, the dollar is going to die." I don't think he's thinking that far ahead at all.
Hmm.
It's just the system. The system demands it, so the players in the system follow their rules.
Yeah, let me try to find what I was trying to. Oh, here we go. Uh, I'm gonna share this because I think the map of the world that we have is called the Mercator map, and it looks like the light blue, continent. So Russia looks huge. So does Greenland. But if you do it properly,
Oh, so
Greenland looks
Greenland is small?
Yeah, it's the dark blue green thing here is really tiny. Even Russia
Okay.
is really tiny. The continent that's really huge is Africa, because it's near the equator, and so South America kind of. I guess it's like the northern Europe and the West, they've always made things look bigger there. Maybe it was a bit of a, yeah, Mercator misconceptions. Clever map shows the true size of countries. So I mean, there's a lot of ice in Greenland, but actually, a friend of mine went there a couple of years ago. Looks quite nice. He was watching whales.
Hmm.
Oh, Trump said as well that they don't really have a claim, Denmark, because they landed there just because they landed there 500 years ago. And then I thought, well, the Mayflower that landed less than 500 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
That
I mean, I don't think anybody cares about the technical who owns Greenland. If Trump wants it, he'll take it.
I think
yeah,
he,
this is great,
yeah,
just great power
I'm
politics.
not
It's
saying I'm for that, but I think he will. And I heard he's thinking of offering every Greenlander $110,000, which there's 57,000 of them. So maybe
Oh,
he'll use the gold revaluation for that.
so what is that? 57,
Yeah, I haven't done the
110
math.
times 57. It's like, was that 57 billion?
Probably, yeah. I,
Okay. Or
I
am I
wouldn't keep
missing?
I
I'm
wouldn't yeah. I think America might disintegrate into much smaller entities. So I wouldn't necessarily, if I was a Greenlander, I wouldn't necessarily get the American flag ready to hang on the flagpole because
Hmm.
I don't think they're going to stick around.
I guess Greenland wouldn't be able to be a state because it doesn't have a big enough population.
Population, yeah, it would be a it'd be like Puerto Rico, it'd be a
Wait,
territory.
But
Mario, maybe you know that when did the Roman Empire expand to what is now the UK? Like that
oh
was
yeah,
under.
I think it was about in the first century AD. Yeah,
So pretty close to the fall of Rome, like relatively.
Yeah, it was only there. They were there for like a couple hundred years.
yeah. I think Julius Caesar came over
Briefly, yeah.
BC, but yeah, he didn't really stay here.
Yeah, 'cause I remember the Bar Kokhba revolt had to be put down with legions all the way from England.
Yeah,
Remember that's one of our pride points, but yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, the empire expands until it reaches that critical mass, like the dying star
yeah.
runs out of hydrogen and then implodes on itself. So
Someone's asking, what do you think of cryptos at the moment?
I don't think of cryptos in it ever.
Yeah, I don't really. I used,
Yeah.
in 2011, 2012, I thought Bitcoin was really going to change things because it was supposed to replace the banking financial system that was corrupt. We'd had the fi great financial crisis. But then in 2017, I saw that Wall Street was getting involved in Bitcoin and cryptos, and I thought, this is not good. So I've stuck to gold and silver, and I think they've got the track record of
Yeah.
By the
surviving
by
I
crises.
the
really wonder like maybe 50 years from now, 100 years from now, how are they going to teach the crypto era to the economics classes of the future? Like how do they explain this insanity? Like what is it? Like
Ma
what is the thing? It's a code to
madness of
what? Like
crowds,
what? Like
madness of crowds and
yeah.
popular delusions. That there's a
Yeah.
book about that. I
by the
mean,
way, you weren't here for this, Rafi. You came later, but I was talking to Mario. I said for the people that are worried about CBDCs, Iran right now, they have a hyperinflating currency. It is, the money's being rejected, right? This is the perfect chance for the government to institute a CBDC and say, here's a CBDC. You have no other choice. You, the people of Iran, have no choice but to take our government issued CBDC. But the people don't seem to be in the mood for that.
no, yeah.
So that's what I said. That's why the CBDC is not going to happen,
Do
people.
you know
Like,
what's going on in Iran better than us, Rafi? Or
I will check the Telegram group. I haven't checked it yet. There's probably hundreds of messages. I'll just skip to the
so
last
you
one and see
think
if there's anything
they'll send
significant.
the Shah, the son of the Shah of Iran, well, the Shah of Iran back? I think he lives
I
in.
met that guy accidentally. I was
Yeah.
ashamed of myself, but
Well, I saw
I met
him
him at
and
a funeral.
I
you were
saw
ashamed to
him.
meet him?
No, no, not really. Like I was like because I was at a friend of mine. His daughters were murdered
No.
on the road, and I learned with him in yeshiva many years ago, and I went to his shiva house where he was mourning his murdered family, and the Shah was there. And I was like, what's he doing here? But whatever. Okay, fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was so I met him.
the Shah of
But
Iran. Yeah, I saw there's a picture of him and his wife with Netanyahu and Netanyahu's wife. So I guess he's pro is friendly towards Israel. Uh, America equals Rome. Someone said that the city of London is Rome as well. Yeah, that's interesting, because I go to the city a few days a month to see like gold investments, my affiliate, and they're right behind the Bank of England. And sometimes I walk around the Bank of England. There's a part where there's like the, yeah, it's like a covered, but you can walk through it on the sidewalk or pavement, as we call it here. And if you look up, it's a big arch, and it has the Roman sign SPQR on it, and stuck on the Bank of England. And you kind of wonder, why is that there? That means Senato Populescus Romanos,
Yeah.
Senate of the
Why
maybe
is it there?
I don't know, but it's in a lot of other places, like throughout Europe. And people say, "Oh, that's just to show that it's a part of civil society." But you kind of wonder why is that sign there?
There's a secret society we don't know about.
Yeah,
The
could be.
smokers.
Yeah. Is there one in Tel Aviv, Rafi, maybe still?
A secret society of what?
No,
Smokers.
the Roman sign SPQR.
I don't know. I've never heard
You
of it.
might find it. You have to look around.
Okay. I try to stay away from Tel Aviv.
Okay. All right, guys. It's oh yeah, some people are saying that it was the Shabbat and that's why you were late, but that's only at sun after sunset you can
Yeah, yeah.
what
I was late because I was just mentally in Saturday night mode and not Sunday night mode, even though I said I
okay.
was coming, like kind of just
Yeah,
slipped. And then
that's
I
all right.
saw Phil's message on my phone. I was like, oh crap, I forgot. Yeah.
Just one more question here before we
Sure.
end. If economy goes into a downward spiral, what does your history knowledge suggest for house prices and gold and silver, please?
Oh, they'll
Uh,
absolutely collapse. I mean, this is Rafi's one of Rafi's main thesis was
house
you could
prices?
yeah, you get a house for 75 to 100 ounces of silver.
Yeah, and I don't think gold and silver are gonna go down because
Not in real terms.
no, because they're gonna keep inflating it. It's gonna be like just think of Brazil, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, uh, Lebanon. It's gonna be like
Yeah.
that. You know, they're gonna
Now it
keep.
is. I want to stress to your viewers, it is a very short period. You know, the 5 ounces of gold for a house period is very short. It's like 3 to 6 weeks, unless things get communist. I mean, if things get communist, all bets are off. But if we don't go communist, the market will clear, and the people that need money will get the money to go buy the food they need, and things will get moving again. So you have a very brief window to disgorge your silver.
All right.
Yeah.
Rafi and Phil, thanks for coming on the live stream on short notice. And I'd like to thank all the viewers as well. And yeah, have a great weekend.
All
You
right,
too.
take care, Martin.
Thank you. Let me just end the stream here, and then we can have a quick chat if you want. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the company.